Rugby lads, here we go! Go the Cowboys!
Hey guys, Sean Media just want to do a big shout out to Rugby League Culture Lounge. All the best this year, 2020.
Alright, oh, yeah! Fuck! Gentlemen, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I am Nick from Australia, and welcome to another live stream for your Friday night, February 3rd, 2023. And welcome to another Q&A episode. And tonight I am joined by Rugby League YouTuber right in the middle there with the Brisbane Heat gear on, big Rooster supporter. Hainsey is in the house, and on the end, in that South Sydney Rabbitohs cap, you can see we have got CJ Moxley, a rabbit, a rooster, and a cowboy here for your Friday night. How are you, fellas? Hainsey, I'll start with you, my friend. How are you, my brother?
Doing well, mate. Doing really, really well. Friday night, the weekend's arrived. Obviously, as you can tell, the Brisbane Heat are in their second final in the BBL. I know you guys don't really watch BBL that much, but yeah, it's a big thing for me. Over the moon that we made the final. So yeah, can't wait for some questions, some sizzling questions tonight.
Outstanding. And CJ is here. Yep. How are you, Moxley?
Yeah, doing well. Footy starts tomorrow technically, so I'm looking forward to that. And get some good questions,
Yeah, we've got the trial game tomorrow, Broncos and Wynnum. Depending on how the live stream is set up from the Broncos Wynnum game, I may do a live stream to the match. We will see. I need to get confirmation if it's been live streamed on YouTube or the website. I've got to find out more about it. But I want to say this. This might be the worst Cowboys tattoo in history. Fake tattoo, sticker, whatever. It doesn't even look like the Cowboys.
What is that? It literally looks like the Argentina flag with like the orange. The Argentina flag.
It does. It does.
I see that.
Before we get to the questions, let's say hello to the chat. G'day to Faraz, Cody Games PlayStation. We got here Josh Rabbitohs 2023. We got Rishi. We got Tim Jones. We got Alan. We've got Luke Melbourne Storm fan. We've got the usual crowd building up. Usually with these Q&As, the chat will ask us questions, and they will. And I'm also going to ask you guys some questions. You guys can ask me a couple of questions. So Hainsey and CJ, whatever you're going to ask me, we'll get into it. We'll ask some tough questions. Pro Enzo Vids is here as well. Shout out to Pro Enzo Vids. How dare him put the Cowboys in ninth in his latter
Cowboys
predictions.
ninth.
I was going to say, can you repeat to Pro Enzo what you said to him before we jump on here?
Oh, no, I don't think I can.
Cowboys top 9, baby.
Yeah. Bull, I rate it.
I love Provenzo Viz. I can't believe he still put us ninth. But anyway, we'll see. We'll see how we go. I've got us coming second and whatever. We'll see what happens. We love Provenzo Vids, and there's always a crazy prediction for the top 8, whether it be good or bad for one team. So we'll see. We'll see how we go. All right, let's have a look at the chat. And we're going to go first question. Cody Games PlayStation. Which team has the most difficult first 5 rounds?
Oh, fuck.
I reckon it's the Rabbitohs. I reckon it's Souths.
There's 2 teams on my mind. It's us and I think it was... Oh, there was another team that have fucked first 5 rounds, but I'm going to say...
I think it's South.
Especially the first 3 games.
I agree. It's South, yeah. I think it's South too.
I think it's
they
South
usually do
because I think it's South because they got Cronulla and Cronulla round 1. Penrith at Penrith in round 2. That's a nightmare. Rabbitohs and I got the Roosters in round 3, which is 50-50. Then they've got Manly at a core, and then they end up with the Storm. That's a nightmare of a start.
I'll be at all of those games too, so fuck me.
It's a nightmare. That's a tough start.
I'll be satisfied if we go at least 3-2.
And you know what? Parramatta got a tough start. Melbourne at Combank, Cronulla at Combank, Manly at Brookie, Penrith at Combank, and then they got the Roosters at Allianz. So I think Parramatta and South's got a tough start.
Here in Parramatta's one as well.
And Melbourne Storm are undefeated in round 1 under Craig Bellamy as well.
Yes, that is true.
So I can't see Para beating Melbourne, even though it's at home, but they're so good. Their home round 1 record.
Such a big question.
Well, we've still got 27 days until the season starts. So, I mean, who the hell knows what's going to happen? But that should be a cracker for round 1. Let's go to some other questions here. We've got Pro Enzo Vids, and he asked, what's the best game of round 1 in your opinions? That's a tough question.
Depends what circumstance you put it in, like quality-wise or...
You can't choose your own team. Best game for round 1.
Easily has to be Rabbitoh Sharks at Shark Park, where they had some good games there last year. The Golden Point game, the semi-final where South splits them. Yeah, so that's probably definitely would be the most anticipated game.
I agree with you, Hainsey. I think it's also South's Cronulla, but I'll go one different. I'm really excited for Manly versus Bulldogs.
I can see that, yeah.
It should be solid. I'm going to say the season opener itself. Para and Melbourne.
The reason why I say Manly Dogs is because it's a Saturday afternoon. It's a 3 o'clock. Be nice and hot. Brookvale Oval. Both teams have got a brand new coach, new style of football. I love that Manly Dogs game, but CJ, Parramatta and Melbourne, bro, I think that is also a cracker, like you said.
That could be anything, man. That could be any way.
I'll tell you the worst game of round 1, West Tigers and the Gold Coast.
I can't wait for that, mate. That'll put me right to sleep.
Thank God I won't be able to see it. I'll be on the train home after the Roosters dub, so I won't have to see it. Won't have to go through that nightmare again like we had in round.
Mate, I'll be sitting there, and if it's 6-4 at halftime, I'll be opening a vodka or something.
No, I can't even bear another performance of both those clubs.
All right, let's go to some other questions. Faraz has put a heap in the chat that I need to get to. Let's have a look at what Faraz has got.
He's the only one asking.
Faraz always has a lot of questions, which is good. We love the questions, Faraz. This is a good one. Peter V'landys or Todd Greenberg? Who did you prefer as NRL CEO? That's a good question.
V'landys.
Yeah, V'landys.
Pandemic, man.
Even though he is a dickhead sometimes, you've really got to appreciate what he's done. Like the way that we got the ball running, got the ground running after the COVID shutdown to be confident to get the games back in a short amount of time, even get the fans back in a short period of time as well. So, although he does come out and make stupid decisions as well, but you've got to appreciate what he did for us in those times where the games were, obviously in that COVID period where anything in life was questionable, but like there was almost no certainties in any kind of way of life. But the fact that he was able to be the first sport code in the world to get sport back going in a short amount of time has to be appreciated. So I would go. PL
for me. I think Peter V'landys has done more for the game now because of what happened with COVID. Before COVID, I would have said Todd Greenberg. I actually didn't mind Todd Greenberg, but that whole thing where he did something and that he shouldn't have done and whatever was bad, and he got proven of whatever it was. But the way Todd Greenberg was sacked from his position, I think was disgraceful. I think it was disappointing the way he was let go. But I think now V'landys has done more for the game. And, yeah, he does make dumb calls. like what he's doing for the trial period, like the point system thing where you win prizes and all this. Like no one cares. No one gives a shit. No one really cares. So I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see how that all plays out. But
in saying that, though, the difference here, though, is Todd Greenberg was the CEO. Volandis is the chairman. So there's two different roles that they both do.
Definitely right.
Still two big power, like still big, influential kind of personnel in the code. So yeah, I get that question though. But yeah, it's still two different kind of roles that they both are in.
Yeah, 100%. All right. Tough question here. Best NRL team logo. You can't choose your own team.
Fuck.
Canterbury.
Ours is good. Ours is good though.
I like the Bulldogs logo. I'd probably
Besides the Roosters, Hainsey, what would you go with?
Top of my head.
Bulldogs for me.
No, I'll go the Dragons. I'll go the Dragons.
Yeah.
I don't mind the Dragons. Just looking at over there, it's
I
nice.
think the best logos are the Dragons, Rabbitohs, Roosters. I think they're the best. I really do.
Traditional ones.
But a logo that I really like a lot, I really like the Cronulla one and the Bulldogs one. I really like their logos. I think they're well done.
I like what the Warriors do with their logo.
Yeah, Warriors not as bad. Well, the Dogs and the Dragons are pretty much
mate,
similar.
mate. I've always been a fan of the Newcastle logo. I do like theirs as well.
But they've changed
it a few years ago.
Yeah.
What's the worst logo in the comp?
West Tigers.
Really?
Their logo's fucking shit.
I like the old Tigers one better.
I don't like their logo.
I'll tell you what, the old Tigers one was in my top 3 or top 5, and then they changed it.
It's like you're trying to do that cartoonish thing, but fouling. Like they did in 2000s.
I'm not. This is nothing against South, but I don't like South and Penrith because it's just plain. All it is just the animal kind of thing.
The old South one was better back in 2007, 2008.
Yeah,
that one was
cool. I like the circle. I like the circle one. Yeah, I don't mind that one. The bunnies and Penrith one, they're just plain. It's just literally...
The Penrith one is plain. The old Penrith one was good, but they had that Panthers sipping across the bottom.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't really like.
I hate the Warriors one.
What?
Really?
I reckon it's shit.
Oh, Fanatics.
I reckon it's shit.
Poor Fanatics.
I love Fanatics, but nothing against him.
And also, the Warriors logo is pretty cool, man.
I know I hate the Gold Coast, but what is their logo?
I like their older logo, but then
I like the older one too.
Yeah, the very first one, the Gold Coast Titans brought in was very good. The one they have right now, their brand new one, looks like absolute shit.
I don't know why they felt that it was some sort of like rebranding thing, like a new era type thing. That's why they did it.
Yeah, the Gold Coast logos themselves are just the first one they brought in was very, very good. Their first ever logo was a good 7, 8 out of 10. This new one they've got, I reckon it's probably about a 4 out of 10.
I don't like
dog shit. Besides that, I don't mind the other logos.
It's like the newer clubs have done the same thing. Like the Tigers is similar to the Titans, where
the Dolphins logo, boys. What was think of that? The Dolphins logo.
It's the same as the same as Penrith and South. It's just plain. Yeah. It's shit. Well, I prefer the Queen. They should have kept the Redcliffe Dolphins because the Redcliffe Dolphins logo in the Queensland Cup is beautiful.
Yeah,
so they should have kept it, but
yeah,
I don't know.
No doubt. All right.
Are they still just called the Dolphins as well?
Yeah, at this stage, they're just the Dolphins. Yeah.
Oh,
question from our good friend Aussie Muzzy. Dally M Smokey this season. Now, this is a good one. Good question.
Geez. So, like, Smokey, define a Smokey so I can get.
Who's a roughie for the Dally M that no one will see coming?
Joey Manu.
Is that a roughie, you reckon?
I think outside the box, yeah.
Like, obviously, the two candidates for the Roosters would be Teddy and Brendan Smith. So, yeah, I'd go Joey Manu.
WMA. Trying to think outside the box.
I reckon Joseph Tarpany's a Smoky.
Oh.
Depending on Canberra.
I'm gonna say.
Will he be able to get all majority votes from Canberra wins though? Like, obviously, you're gonna have the
from
standards
White as well.
like Whiten and Savage and that, so it'd be
I don't know
hard.
if this is a smoky, but I'm gonna say Harry Grant from Melbourne.
Yeah,
Munster will take points off him though, probably, and Hughes.
that's a problem. That's a problem with these good clubs. Like, there's so much talent on offer that they can easily get points from. They can always split points in.
I mean, we're
each
looking
It's the
game.
same with the Roosters. Like, we talk about Joseph
That's
Manu,
why I
but
was calling Joey Manu, because there's so many like
when we
Teddy
go
and
to a-
Tedesco and
Cheese,
Sam
Bradley,
Walker will take points off,
Fury. Yeah, exactly right. So that's why I've
which is
gone.
going to hurt.
Okay, I'll give you a roughie.
If he says
You reckon,
man,
boys reckon Val Holmes or Tommy Dearden are a smoky?
I think Val Holmes is. I think Dearden's another year or two, maybe.
Val was freakish last year, and Dearden, fuck. Tell you what.
Ooh, I think Val Holmes.
I'm forgetting somebody here. Oh, Clint Gutherson, maybe. He's always thereabouts.
Yeah.
He's always in the top fucking 10.
Yeah, it's so tough.
Gutherson always finds a way to get in that top 10,
I'm trying
top
to
8.
think of just. You know what? I'm just gonna
Anyway,
say
we'll
that.
find out.
Burden.
Next question. Oh, shit. Finally. There we go. Sorry about that. Slow delay with the internet connection. Who's your top try scorer this year? This is tough, boys. Who do you like?
It's not
Who
a
do you like
debate.
the top try scorer?
It's not a debate. It's Alex Johnson.
Am I allowed to say Alex Johnson, or do I have to say someone else?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, I'll say Alex Johnson, 28 tries, but if not, I'll go Xavier Coates with 25.
Ooh. Who won?
Okay.
All right.
It took me a second to realize it was actually at the Storm, not the Broncos.
Alex Johnson's
yeah.
definitely the favourite. I don't want to get you too excited, Hainsey, but Daniel Tupou's got to be up there.
He can be. Like, obviously, the left side from the Roosters is our lethal left side, but the likes of having Suoliti if he's on the wing on the other side, we've got both options to choose from. So, but apparently that Robbo wants to have Suoliti in the left centre. So if that's the case, then he's definitely a chance. You can't get Alex Johnson. Like, he's done it for the last 3 seasons. His try scoring record is phenomenal.
There's a few other guys that come to mind for me, boys. Like I think Murray Tuilagi from the Cowboys will be up there. Ronaldo Mulatalo. Fox maybe. Hell, you know what?
Fox.
I'd even throw in Dominic Young from the Newcastle Knights. He might get a few tries.
Oh God, no.
Dom
Young?
No, not Dom Young.
Sivo?
Sione Katoa, maybe.
I backed Sione Katoa last year, and I think round 17, round 16, Katoa was like 3 or 4 behind, and then he got injured, and that was it. So Katoa might be a good roughie.
Could be the smoky of it all.
I'm not going to give an answer right now, but I think Alex Johnson, Daniel Tupou, Murray Tuilagi, Ronaldo Mulatalo, and Dominic Young are my top 5 at the moment. Hey, look, let's do it again. Ronaldo Mulatalo.
Do your best. Do your best, Sue, Nick.
Oh no, not a good
Oh God, love Ronaldo.
All right, we got a question here from Anthony Kurtel. Thoughts on Hopgood, Jermaine Hopgood for the Eels? A lot of hype about him, boys.
I think he could be Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
He is such
a lot of hype around him.
I've seen him in New South Wales Cup, and I think he's ready for first grade. Sure.
Yeah, but it's a big difference, isn't it? Like New South Wales Cup straight to
It
NRL.
is. I think he could be Rookie of the Year. I'm high on him. I'm on the hype train with him.
We'll see how he goes in the trials in the next few weeks. He'll definitely play in the
He's
trials.
starting lock round.
I think he'll be on the bench for Parramatta. I don't think he'll start.
I think he'll have to start round 1 because of Madison being out.
No, Nathan Brown can start at lock, I reckon.
What are your thoughts on that gamble last year of playing him in the grand final?
It didn't work.
No, it didn't work.
Didn't work.
That was a risk to play him. He hasn't had much game time.
That was a big risk.
So
CJ's in the stream of audio only. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, man.
All right. Yeah, it was a risk. It was a big risk. I think he'll go all right, just as long as he does what's expected of him. All right, let's go to another question. Oh, what the fuck? This computer. For us, you guys going to any Origin matches? I will go to the one in Brisbane only if the tickets aren't $250 each. That was an outrage last year.
you gotta get in early for that, Nick. You gotta get in early.
Yeah, $288 fucking dollars for a seat up the top.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Origin tickets in Brisbane's ridiculous.
Criminal. I go to Broncos games a lot, and I'm probably going to go to a lot more this year. I'll probably go to a few Titans games and Dolphins games. The tickets for Broncos games are usually somewhere between $30 and $50, which is fair. The Gold Coast tickets are usually around 20 to 25, depending where you want to sit. I like to sit behind the post around row 15 to row 18. I like to see the whole game. I like sitting behind the post. That's my sort of vibe. But Origin ticket, $288 fucking dollars last year was criminal.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I was lucky to pay only $150 for game 3 last year.
Bargain.
And I sat. It's ridiculous. Prices at Origin in Queensland are ridiculous. Sydney's actually not too bad.
That's a joke.
Oh, mate, Sydney. When I went to South and Tigers with CJ and All Out Champa, I think I paid about $20 to get in, and I could sit wherever the hell I wanted.
Yeah, bro, you can go up to the front. Like the security is.
Because there's no one there in the South games.
Well, the West Tigers fans didn't travel. I think there was like maybe 5% Tigers fans down the other end. There was no one there.
Yeah, down this little bay or something in the south end.
There was like 12,000 South fans there. The Tigers fans, I didn't even see them.
Yeah.
Poor cunts.
So I'm planning to take a week off work to go to game 3 in Sydney.
Yep.
So I'll go to game 3. Game 2, it's not a decider at Suncorp, so I'll go to that. I'm not going to any more deciders at Suncorp. I'm 0-2. So yeah, I'll go to. So literally for the Blatchies Blues behind the goalpost is $85.
Oh,
it's not.
That's reasonable for Origin. I'd pay that for an Origin game.
Yeah.
You got to think it's an Origin game. It's a big event. You need, the cheapest is 65. You sit at the top. Then you got your Blatchies 85, 110, and all that. You pay that for an Origin game. It is expensive for a family and all that, but like at the same time, 300 each at Queensland is ridiculous. It all depends.
I'll tell you something crazy, boys. I'll tell you something crazy. I'm 23 years old. I'm 24 in May, and I've never been to one Origin game in my life. So
I've not been Origin either.
I want to go this year.
I've been to shit. How many have I been to?
You'd have been to
2018 game 3 was my first. 2019 game 1 in game 3 was my first in Sydney. 2020, I went to 2 in 2021. I think I've been to 7.
Okay, that's pretty good.
5 at Suncorp, 1 at Seabus.
That's where we went.
Yeah, that's when it was the. They didn't even sell that either. They only got 25,000 in. Yeah, I understand. It was a. No, it was the whole 28 Seabus. No, the point was that they were trying to. It was a dead
27
rubber.
and a half, I think Seabus fits.
Yeah, it was a dead rubber at Seabus. Obviously,
25 is not too bad.
COVID restricted too. Like,
Right, next question. SS Storm fan. Confirmed now Lachlan Miller will play fullback at the Knights and Ponga at 6. I want to be the first one well, everyone's already said this. I'm going to be the first one to say this. Kalen Ponga going to 5'8" is going to be a failure. Again, they tried it a few years ago. I tried it a few years ago. It didn't work. He's got a history of concussions now. It's getting to the stage where Luke Keary's probably another concussion away from potential retirement. I don't think Ponga to 5'8" does him any favours. In attack, it might, but in defence, I question it. I really do. Ponga will have to make at least 15 to 25 tackles a game in the line like that. So I think Ponga at 5'8" is going to be a failure.
Bro, he's in the line. That's the issue. That's not. It's not for him.
Yep.
But Lachlan Miller at fullback's really good.
When I'm versing Newcastle, if I'm coaching against Newcastle, I'm getting my back rower and my inside player running at Ponga constantly, all game.
Yep.
I'm attacking Ponga's side all night. I'm not even worrying about the other side of the field. I'm going at Kalen every time. Every time.
Like, I don't understand why. Like, they've got to try something Newcastle because it's not working at Ponga at fullback. But like he's having concussion issues at fullback, and now he's in the line. It's gonna be a problem.
It could only get. It could get if it gets any worse. I'm not going to finish the sentence, but I touch wood when I say this, but it could end up in a forced retirement in a few years.
Sending Ponga to America wouldn't even fix him.
No, it's.
He's made of plastic.
It's not going to work.
In saying that though, like we look at we all think of Jonathan Thurston, the smallest ever player.
Yeah,
he was always said at a younger age he's too small to play footy, and came up to be one of the best tacklers that we've seen. And obviously, Sam Walker's a young fella too. He's young, he's small. He does hold his own, so it can work.
Tom Dearden's pretty small too, isn't he?
He is. He's nothing. He's got nothing on him, Sam Walker. He's got nothing on him. But who knows? Who knows with Newcastle?
You can't predict Newcastle.
Here's a question for you then, Nick. Who's getting sacked first? Adam O'Brien or Anthony Griffin?
Griffin's gone by magic round.
I think Griffin will be sacked before round 8. Yeah. And I reckon Adam O'Brien will survive the entire year and he won't get sacked.
Ooh.
Wow. Like, even if they have a poor start. Like,
they don't have the worst draw, Newcastle. They got the Warriors in New Zealand, which is a bit of a tough start.
It is a tough road trip.
The Tigers after that, which, I mean, the Tigers game's winnable. The Warriors game's winnable. After that, they got the Dolphins at Newcastle. Winnable. Then they play Canberra at Newcastle, and then they got Manly at Mudgee. So it isn't the worst start.
They can win 2 out of 5. Like, obviously last year they're coming out of the blocks. They won the first 3 games. Just don't remind me.
Yep, they're all winnable.
Newcastle, the Newcastle Knights only play one top 8 side in the first 6 weeks, and that's Canberra. From last year.
That's winnable, so that says a lot.
It is winnable.
So realistically, Newcastle could be 5 from 6 if all goes well. But it's hard to imagine that because they're not consistent.
Yep. Exactly right.
But it's the NRL, boys. Never say never. Who knows what's going to happen?
Exactly right.
Last year, we all said Cowboys would come last, win the spoon. I never said it, but everyone else did. Everyone's like, they're so shit. They don't finish third and making a prelim.
I was going to ask you that like ages ago. What did you predict the Cowboys to come last year?
I had us in 8th. I said I think the Chad Townsend thing will work out. I said experience-wise, it'd be good for the young kids coming through. I knew the young talent that we had there, and I'm like, we've been together for a couple of years now. We haven't really bought anybody except a couple of experienced guys. And they were losing a lot. And the Cowboys, when they were going bad in 2021 and in 2020, they had the most injuries in the comp, I think, with the Roosters. So, and Newcastle as well. And I'm like, if they don't have injuries, they're definitely competing for the top 8. And we saw last year the Cowboys didn't really have many injuries at all, and they ended up in the top 4. So it's amazing what a season can do to a team if you don't get that many injuries. But yeah, who knows? It's just my biggest concern about last year wasn't the roster and it wasn't the team or the talent. My biggest worry last year was Todd Payton, but he ended up making me look like an idiot, which is good because I'm glad I was proven wrong. And Todd Payton was outstanding. So
Coach of the year. Yeah.
It was unbelievable. The Cowboys last year were hard to beat, and they're probably going to be hard to beat again this year because going to Townsville and winning on a hot day up there or a hot night is not easy. It's very tough. And we spoke about this a couple of hours ago, boys, on the call when we were talking privately. And the Cowboys draw to start the year, the first 9 or 10 rounds. It's very favourable. We only play one top 8 team in the first 8 rounds, and that's Canberra. And then we don't play another top 8 team until round 9 and round 10. Man,
the softest draw, more softer than butter.
The Cowboys and Raiders win the draw. And the other thing about the Cowboys too is everyone talks about their record in Sydney. It wasn't that bad last year. Beat Manly, Dragons, and who else? We beat someone else down there.
Manly Dragons. We beat someone else down there. Lost to Rabbitohs, Roosters, and Penrith, but we beat Cronulla in the finals. So we were 3-3 last year in Sydney, which wasn't bad. Not bad for a team from Townsville. Just trying to think of the other team we beat in Sydney.
Yeah.
We beat Manly at Brookvale Oval. At the time, Manly were in the 8. I think they were in 8th or 7th, and we were in.
Yeah, that was
Yeah. I'll give you that one. I'll give you the Dragons.
That was a great comeback. How do you come back from 26-12 down against Manly at Brookvale Oval and win the game 28-26? It just doesn't happen very often.
I was like, this is over.
It's rare. But yeah, anyway, enough about the Cowboys. Otherwise, I'll be here all night bragging about how good we are.
Yep.
All right. I want to ask you a question, CJ. I want to ask you one, mate.
Yeah.
Is Lachlan Ilias
the right man at halfback for Souths? Can Lachlan Ilias win a comp with the Rabbitohs as the number? Can the Rabbitohs win a comp with Ilias at halfback?
Oh, okay. That hits like a truck, but I'll give my best answer on the spot. He filled the shoes of Adam Reynolds, obviously, which is a big thing to do. And it took us to a prelim final in his first year. So I don't think there's any reason why he can't take us a step further. He's only going to develop more and get better. I'm not going to say he'll just take us straight away to a comp. He'll have time, but he's definitely a good chance of doing it within the next 3 years. But the only concern is obviously the second year syndrome sort of things. But I do think he is the right man, and I do think he is a long-term halfback with the club.
Yeah. All right. And Hainsey, I'm going to ask you another question similar to that one. Can the Roosters, or should I say, can Luke Keary stay fit most of the year? Can a combination of Keary and Walker win the Roosters a premiership as that combination?
Well, I reckon they can. Luke Keary coming back from an ACL injury, it was a bit rough to start with. Obviously, it was pretty clear that he's not a 7. He's a 6. Robbo found that combination right when Sam Walker ran the show. Luke Keary ran to his left side, the lethal left side of the Roosters. It worked in the back end of the season, and I think he's got that combination right. It'll give maybe, this year it's a great opportunity to do it. But obviously, like Luke Keary, he's he came back he had a pretty solid year coming back from an ACL. We all know his potential. We all know Sam Walker's potential. Look, the one thing that needs to go for us this year is staying fit. And that's been the most thing that's let us down the last few seasons is season-ending injuries. We've already lost one with Connor Watson. Not even the preseason really rolled in the shape yet, and he's already out for the season. So, but yeah, if we can if we can stay 100% fit, I think we can go close to winning the comp. Honestly, like we've got the team to do it on paper, but yeah, it's just now we're going to deliver it, and the start's important for us this year too.
All right. Well, I just asked CJ a Rabbitoh question. Hainsey, I just asked you a Rooster question. CJ and Hainsey, I'm going to give you a chance to ask me a Cowboys question now. CJ, you're up. Far away.
All right. So my question for the Cowboys, for you and the Cowboys, is how do you see the Cowboys backing up last year after such a massive improving year? Where do you see them becoming an established, consistent finals team?
Well, see, I don't think like a lot of people are comparing the Cowboys to Manly of 2021, which I think is unfair because you have a look at what Manly did in 2021. It was the Tom Trbojevic show. It was Tommy Turbo against the world, and everyone got on the back of Tom Trbojevic. The difference with the Seagulls and the Cowboys is Manly had the Dally M medalist and the best player in the world. The Cowboys, they weren't about individuals. That they weren't about this player needs to perform. It was a collective unit, and they all got around each other. It wasn't about Tamalolo being the best forward in the game. It wasn't about Valentine Holmes being the best centre in the competition. It wasn't about Townsend and Tom Dearden becoming this very good combination. It was a collective unit. Guys like Nanai shine. There was some games last year where Tamalolo was probably a passenger, and there was games where we still won. Guys like Neem, guys like McLean, they all just went to a whole new level. Guys like Ruben Cotter, who I'm in absolute love with. Ruben Cotter I'm in love with Ruben Cotter, man. Honestly, I might get a post of him on the wall. I love him that much. The thing with the Cowboys is they're young. They've got experience with some of the older guys, and making a prelim last year at home, yes, it was controversial, but do you know how hungry they're going to be after that? They're going to be starving. They were that close from a grand final from nowhere. They should have been in the grand final. They deserve to be in the grand final, but obviously it wasn't to be. But the young players are going to get better. They're not getting old. They've got a lot of experience, a lot of premiership-winning players in that team. Lots of youth. Nanai, Tulangi, Neem, Lukey, Nanai, Cotter, Robson, Dearden. They're all going to improve. They're all young. They're all going to get better. The only people that worry me, Tamo and McLean might be a little bit past their best. Hess is a bit hit and miss sometimes. Todd Payton needs to obviously get around them. And I think the other thing that the Cowboys did in the offseason, yes, the Cowboys may not have bought any big-name players, but you know what they did? They bought depth. Someone like Jajeski, good cover for the back row. Someone like Tamo, yes, he's an old fuck, but good for experience and leadership. Brennan Elliott does well on the outside backs. We've got Tom Chester coming through. Granville's still there. There's a lot of experience and a lot of youth. So I think the Cowboys will back it up and be a top 4 side once again. And I'm just saying, going to Townsville and winning is a very tough ask. And yes, the Cowboys will lose games in Townsville this year. That will happen. But they will be hard to beat up there. There's no doubt about it. And Hainsey, you're up.
Yeah, basically, I would say you guys haven't really spent big on the transfer market, but I'm going to say how will the Cowboys continue that consistency from last year? Obviously, this is their first decent good season in many years now. So how do you back that up?
Yep.
How do you guys back that up after last year and avoid a second year syndrome kind of thing?
Yeah, look,
can you guys back that up?
It can be hard with the second-year syndrome thing. It can be difficult. I think the other thing too is we got to be a little bit careful because we had a lot of players over in the World Cup, and some of them probably come back a little bit tired. But in saying that, some of the young kids, I think they're the ones that you got to be careful of. I think guys like Nanai, Tulangi, you got to be careful with them because they're young and you don't want to burn them out. You want to give them their rest. So I think with every team having the free buys, I think that gives everyone an advantage. I really do. Gives everyone a bit of an extra week's of rest, and you got to think as well in the Origin period. Most of them players probably get a break in the Origin period as well, so that probably helps them a little bit too. I just feel I don't see any really weaknesses in the team. Like there obviously is a few weak spots in every team, but I'm struggling to find out how many teams got better. We finished third last season, 17 wins. The Roosters got better probably, and they were below us last year. Souths didn't buy anyone. Melbourne got weaker, and they finished below us. Parramatta they're probably the same, or they didn't really buy anyone that big anyway. I don't see any of the bottom 8 sides going that high up. I just look at the Cowboys. I look at the squad. I look at the depth. I look at the club as a unit. I look at the roster. They have a very good team. And look, I was listening to Willie Mason the other day, and his point was very good. I don't want to side with Willie Mason with everything he says, but a lot of what he said was pretty much on the ball. And like I said, 14, 15 wins will get you in the top 8. 17, 18 is probably top 4. I think the Cowboys are a genuine top 8 side, if not top 4. I think they're going to be up there again.
They won't fall too far off the bottom 4, but the top 4. But like the likes of the Roosters and the Rabbitohs have improved. Like Latrell Mitchell a full season with Latrell, the Souths will make top 4. Roosters stay fully fit; they will be a top 4 team. I know you've got a little bit against the Storm lately with their side, but you can't write a Craig Bellamy team off like that.
Well, I'm doing it.
Their spine has got. If Pappenhausen is 100% ready to go, they've got one of the best spines in the league. The Storm, so they'll be up there again for the top 4. So
Then you got Penrith, obviously.
So, you know what concerns me with Melbourne, boys?
Their forward pack, I'm guessing.
Their forward pack's weak, and Pappenhausen might not be back to round 5, round 6, which ain't good, which is not going to be good. So Melbourne are a bit lucky that they do have a fairly good draw to start the year, so they might be okay without Pappenhausen. But defensively, that side of the field with Remus Smith and George Jennings, I think last year it was one of the worst defensive sides in the comp before they all got injured.
It looked like.
But every team that plays Melbourne will use their left-hand side. So when Parramatta play them in round 1, expect Dylan Brown, Sean Lane, Wagga Blake, and Sevo on that left side to just go there all night. Like I'm telling you, they'll target that big time.
Yeah, I agree. They will.
It's all talk now. We're not far away from some action, so we can't wait.
Yeah, 27 days to go till the season starts.
Really?
We got the Broncos versus Wynnum trial game, 5 p.m. tomorrow, which is 4 p.m. up in Queensland, 5 p.m. here in New South Wales.
The Carperos as well.
We got the trial game starting next Thursday night. The Warriors up against the West Tigers. That'll be interesting. And then we've got other trial games on that weekend, which is also going to be very, very interesting. Boys, that's going to wrap up the Q&A. Hainsey and CJ, thank you, boys, for coming on.
Always a pleasure, bro.
Always, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you to everyone in the live chat for tuning in. It's been good. It's now 10 p.m. where I am, and I am sweating my ass off once again. I'm going to go have a nice glass of Coke and maybe watch something on YouTube. I don't know. Anyway, guys, we're getting out of here. Have a good night. Subscribe to Hainsey and CJ on YouTube if you haven't already. Anyway, guys, enjoy your Friday night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Broncos versus Wynnum trial game review. Until then, take care.
Go on, Heat.